Stampin' by Hannah here on YouTube. You're seeing my face today. We don't normally do faces on YouTube. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the UK, and I cover the UK, Netherlands, Germany, France and Austria. So if you, anything that I kind of say is usually about Stampin' Up! Just to kind of preference anything I'm going to do today. So this catalogue, this beautiful one, is the January to June catalogue, and it is about to retire. And I thought today we would do a little bit of crafting with some goodies from here that I'm really going to miss. So I have pulled the Artfully Layered stamp set. I'll give you a proper look at it when I tilt you on down. Hopefully I can do that. I've not done face, like camera rotation on YouTube for a little bit because I got myself really muddled with it. But I did a Facebook Live on Monday. If you check my channel, you should be able to see the replay because I did upload it to YouTube. So I did a Facebook Live on Monday to share my pre-order from this beautiful catalogue and Sale-a-bration, which was very exciting. Hello Janice, nice to see you. And I managed to twist the camera around, so I thought I'll try it again on YouTube and see if it works. So lovely to see everybody, and I hope that you like today's video. I have 2 cards. I've kind of done a sketch, but I haven't actually sketched it out, but you'll see what I mean. And I thought I'd do kind of 2 versions using the same card design, using Artfully Layered. So I shall try and tilt you on down and see if this works. Are you ready? This might not work well. So I'm going to turn you around. You can see my messy desk. And then, haha, there we go. So let's get you all organised. And you can see all sorts of rubbish on my desk, can't you? There we go. You can still see all sorts of rubbish, but still, it's better than it was. Move my mouse out of the way, which I have, to prove to myself that we were live, which I've done already because I've had comments, which means we are live on YouTube. So if you want any information at all, or you want to see more projects, if you click over to my blog, it is stampinbyhannah.co.uk, and you can find everything over there. And if you're shopping this month, do use the club code, which is here or is also on my blog. So this is the January to June catalogue that is about to retire, and there are some fabulous things in here. Lots of really fabulous discounts. This paper's gorgeous. The Flowering Fields is going. Yeah, just there's something else that I wanted to share with you. Where's it gone? There it is. The New Horizons suite. This paper here is stunning. I haven't got any to show you, but it's stunning, and I don't want you to miss it. So the suite I have picked today, that would be good, wouldn't it, if I could show you that one, is on page 32, and it is artfully composed. I absolutely love this suite. It is beautiful. It is still available, I do believe. When I checked this afternoon, it was still available as a suite, so you can use that 1 item code, which is over here, to purchase everything. You've got the stamps and the dies. I'm going to use those today. I do have some designer series paper to use today. The paper is beautiful. I'm using those today. This is the faux sea glass shapes. I shall show you those because they're very pretty. Look at those. Just gorgeous. They're like matte. They're not shiny, but they're just really pretty. And I've not used very many of them, so I'm going to use them today. And then these 2 things, I believe, are both carrying over. So this is the white frayed ribbon, and this is the vellum layering 12x12. It's gorgeous though, so I'm really pleased that's in the annual catalogue. So that is Artfully Composed. There are some discounts on the stamp set, and I will just look it up because I can't remember what the discount is. So let me find it. Is everybody well? I hope that you're having a good week. My day today has been a little bit bonkers. It's a Wednesday, which means I have a day off from my day job, and I spend the day with the kids, which is lovely, but we're in the middle of potty training with Neve, and if I stand in another puddle, I might actually scream. So the stamp set which was, doesn't tell me how much the stamp set was £23, is now £16.10, which is a bargain. And but the bundle is the same price. So but the stamp set is reduced, as is the designer series paper. So let's get to card making, because I've now waffled on for 5 minutes. So I have already gone ahead and made a card. Let's move all that. I've got myself right flustered this evening. I have made a card. Look at this. I absolutely adore this suite. I've had so much fun playing with it. I should have gone ahead and pulled some more samples out, but I haven't. And I cannot see any... Oh, no, I can. So, I did a lot of playing with this suite, to the point where the stamp set was actually one of my card club cards for the month. So I just made loads. I love this card. Absolutely love this. With that ribbon on. And it's got like a sparkle in it. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but it's really, very pretty. Is that one? No. That might be the only cards I've got handy. Oh, and this one. Really, really simple. But these were all featured in Card Club. So this is the sort of cards that we make in Card Club every month. So if you want to join Card Club, I waffled about it a lot last week. So if if you want to go and check last week's video, because I was using Inspired Thoughts, which is what this month's stamp set is. So, but yeah, Card Club is £12.50. And you get a full kit of goodies for that, and a video and all sorts. Yeah, there is information over on my blog. So, this is the first card, and this is the kind of sample that I made. So, and the kind of sketch I've made, if that makes sense. So, you've got a Bermuda Bay card base, layer of Whisper White, layer of designer series paper. This panel here is 3 centimetres shorter and narrower than the card base itself, so that it all matches and it kind of layers nicely. So my card base is 14.8 by 10.5. So this is 11.3 actually by 7. Which means that this piece of paper is 6.5 by 10.8. On my blog, I keep a list of measurements. There's a kind of standard card measurements page. If you ever want any measurements, over there is a good place to go. So, shall we put this card together? Because I've done a bit of two-tone stamping on this one, which I was very pleased with when I sort of had a play about with it the other day. So, let's move all of the stamps and things out of the way for a second. I have got my card base, which is Bermuda Bay, which I pulled before I pulled anything else. And then thought, not sure, but actually I do think it works. And I've got a layer of basic white and a layer of designer series paper, another piece of Whisper White and another piece of designer series paper, which is actually the same sheet but the reverse. And then I've already gone ahead, because I've told you before about how much I'm not a fan of heat embossing on camera, because I don't like the sound of the heat gun. So this is already heat embossed white on Evening Evergreen cardstock. So let's put this together. I did have a scrap of Whisper White, or Basic White somewhere. There it is. Let's do our bit of stamping first. So this card, the yellow in the designer series paper is actually a colour called Bumblebee, which we don't stock anymore. It retired at the end of May. But it's very similar to Crushed Curry. So I pulled Bermuda Bay and Crushed Curry, but I think that's still a bit dark. So this time I'm going to grab out, she says, being really organised, my Daffodil Delight, which is still a yellow, but it's just that tone lighter, and see if that works better for me. So I've also not even cleaned my stamp. It's going well this week, isn't it? You can tell my day's been busy. I've also managed today, in amongst cleaning up just so much mopping of floors. I've managed to bang my head off an architrave of a door. I've managed to spill water literally all over my kitchen. And I fell over as well. So it's been good. So I've inked my stamp up with Daffodil Delight ink, and I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay. And normally I would use a sponge, like a sponge daub that goes on your finger for this, but I can't find mine. So I've got a bit of stamping sponge instead. I'm going to just pop a little bit of ink on the sponge, and I'm going to ink the ends of the leaf. Just right the way around. I'm not looking for lots and lots of coverage, just enough that you've kind of got a hint of Bermuda Bay on the edge of those leaves. And this is one of those cards where it's one of those stamping techniques where you're going to end up with a different effect every time. So I'll breathe on it just to make sure that the ink is nice and wet. I'm going to stamp it down. Hello, Pat. Lovely to see you. I hope you are well. I'm going to lift that up. Ah, that's better. You see, it's just that little bit lighter. I thought that felt a bit dark. And you've got that on the edges, because I didn't take the ink off. You've still got a little bit of yellow underneath the Bermuda Bay, which is why it's ever so slightly green. But that's fine, because there's green in the designer's paper behind it as well. So I think that works. So I have got my cut and emboss machine just next to me, and I am going to run this through that machine. So this is the stamp set, and then we've got there's loads of dies in here. You've got dies that cut out the leaves, so we're going to use that one, but then you've also got like accent dies like this, which is my absolute favourite, which I do actually need 2 of and I've not done. So let's grab some vellum as well. I've got everything out on my desk. Yeah, brain isn't working today. You've got a lovely edge. Then you've got some nice accent pieces as well, which is just makes it really lovely. Really love this set. So let's do the leaf first. I have my trusty piece of washi tape handy because I don't trust myself not to move the cardstock or the die as it's going through my machine. So very quickly just run that through, hopefully not jiggling the table too much. I have also changed my setup a little bit this week. I stood in this spot for Facebook Live on Monday, and I felt like there was slightly less shadow than there usually is. Let me know what you think, because I do need to sort my lighting out a little bit better. But at the moment, I just haven't got the energy or the time, So I am going to just trim off a piece of vellum. This is our standard weight vellum. And I'm going to run this through my machine twice to cut 2 of the leaves. Which I should have done before I started, but I wasn't paying attention, as usual. So, I do love a bit of vellum on a card. I just think it's just that subtle bit of detail that really, really kind of makes your projects really pop and make them look even more special. I do love a vellum on a wedding card. I think works particularly well if you're going for something really special. So there's one, and you can't see it. So there it is in my hand. You can see it. Lovely. You put it down, it sort of disappears. It's an effect I really like, because it's not too loud in your face, and it just gives that extra layer, that bit of texture, that just a something. I like a card with just a something. So here we go. This is the Stampin' Up! Take a Pick tool, by the way, which I genuinely don't think I could live without. Don't know what I did or how I have a paper piercer that I used to use before. Before I used that, I don't know how I survived. I use this every day, every single day. This every time I craft, the take a pick is in my hand. So, oh, there we go. So I've got 2 of those lovely leaves. I'm going to miss this die. This die is probably my favourite bit of the entire suite. So let's get to popping this card together. I've got my Stampin' seal. And I was card making with Neve this afternoon, because obviously Father's Day this weekend, isn't it? I am not ready. Did I say I'm not ready? I have James's present. I have James's card made now, because me and Neve did that this afternoon. My dad, James's dad, no, I've got nothing. I've got so much crafting to do this week. I've got several birthdays coming up. Haven't made anything for those. And Father's Day, but yes, so Father's Day this weekend, and me and Neve were crafting this afternoon. And she had loads of fun making her daddy's Father's Day card, but trying to get her to use Stampin' Seal was really difficult. You need quite a lot of pressure, and for a 3-year-old, I think it might have been a little much. But she enjoyed herself anyway. Just a little extra hand, but I do have lots of very cute photos of her crafting with some Stampin' Up! Products, which I will share with you probably on Sunday, because I obviously don't want to share the card that she made, because James would see it, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. So there is that bit all laid up nicely. Now I have fussy cut. I'm sorry. I have fussy cut this sentiment. This is one of those sentiments that I really enjoy fussy cut. I think it's because it's that kind of scripty, really awkward fussy cut. But it just looks fabulous. And it doesn't really matter how close you stay to the word. So let's quickly chop this out. I really struggle to concentrate on fussy cutting and talking to you at the same time. Also, I try to move the cardstock and not the scissors. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you just have to move the scissors. And as a left-handed person as well, sometimes the scissors do just need to move. The Stampin' Up! Snips, if you are a lefty, by the way, are amazing. They're not made for left-handed people. They're not kind of advertised as a left-handed pair of scissors, but I do find they work really, really well. I think it's just because they're so sharp, and they're sharp all the way to the edge. There's no, like, they don't get halfway down and they go blunt or anything like that. But I've had this pair for, I've been a demonstrator 8 years, so these are probably about 8 years old, and I have never had an issue with them. So that is my sentiment. Super quick fussy cutting. And then I'm going to lay this up. So really, really simple once it's put together. So I'm going to kind of simply put some seal on the back of that die cut, the stamped one. And I'm going to just lay my vellum pieces behind so that I can sort of see exactly where they are. And then I can pop that up with some dimensionals. Actually might use this card. I've got 2 girly birthdays coming up. One, the lady who was my bridesmaid turns 30 at the weekend, which makes me feel really old. And she's having a party. So I need a card for her. And then one of my sister-in-laws turns 21. So I need a card for her as well. But obviously they don't know each other. They've never met. So I genuinely could use both of these cards for them, which will probably happen. So I'm going to grab a couple of mini dimensionals. Yes, I finally got my mini dimensionals back in stock. I never thought I would use them all that much. When they first came into the catalogue, I was like, really? Mini dimensionals? Are you sure? What's the point? I use them all the time. There we go. Straight on there. So that is our first card. Isn't that? I just really enjoy this suite. I am genuinely going to miss it, because I've just used it so much. And I really love that kind of two-tone stamped effect. There's loads of ways that you can do it. But I just find with a bit of sponge works really well. You could use a blending brush to do it. You could use yeah, your fingers if you really want to get messy. But I would recommend yeah, a bit of sponge. So, shall we make our second card? I can't believe I've actually managed to pull 2 cards together this week. The second one, I've gone for something a little bit more neutral, and I've not used any Designer's Fees paper. Oh, hold on a second. I knew there was something I meant to put on this card. So this one, that's really subtle, has a trio of the sea glass. So, before I move on, should we try? They're the clear ones. So they've blended in with the paper. So shall we try a different colour? Shall we try green? I think the green is Pear Pizzazz, actually. What do you think? We'll try it. I do love the fact that these are all like different shapes and different sizes. They're very sea glassy. I do like it. So there we've got this one that's got the clear ones on, and this one that's got, it's so subtle, I don't think you'd notice. But still, never mind. So that is card number 1. My second card, I've prepped less of, is more neutral. Because I do love a neutral. I do really love crumb cake, which is what this is. But I haven't made a neutral card for ages. And I was scrolling Pinterest trying to get a little bit of inspiration. Yes, I genuinely do scroll Pinterest for some inspiration for what I could make on a live. Particularly on a Wednesday when my head's frazzled. And I came across a few kind of neutral cards using the suite, and I thought, that's interesting. So I've done the same. So I've got a card base that is crumb cake. And then I have got a piece of basic white that I have already gone ahead and embossed with the Fern 3D embossing folder, which is brand new. It's in the Sun Prince suite. It's so pretty, but it's really subtle. You could really jazz it up if you rub ink over it. You can really make something of it, but it's just that subtle texture I thought would really work nicely with this suite. So, oh, and it's too big, so I also need to trim it. And then I have got another piece of basic white and a mat of crumb cake. I have die cut another piece of vellum with one of the dies, and again I have gone ahead and done heat embossed my sentiment. So this is Early Espresso cardstock, and I've used that edge piece, which is this die, just to kind of give the die a little bit more something. Just, yeah. So let me just grab my trimmer, and I can just cut this piece of basic white to the actual size. So it should be 14.3. There we go. And then that makes it 0.5 centimetre shorter and narrower than my card base. So, that's not going to fall on the floor. Then, I will take a photograph of my desk after I've done this, because genuinely, because I've kind of rotated myself about 90 degrees, I'm on the end of my desk, which means it's narrow. And so I have considerably less space than I'm used to. And I've gotten myself all tied in a knot. So, take a deep breath. I need, oh, she says, this stamp, which is welded, and the flowers. Well, they're kind of like, I don't know whether they're flowers or hearts or leaves or whatever they are, but they're very pretty. So I'll pop that on there, and is that going to fit? Yeah. So let's move everything else out of the way, and we're just going to look at this piece of basic white. Like so. And I have got 3 neutral browns. So I've got Early Espresso, Crumb Cake and Sahara Sand. I really like these 3 colours together. Just do. So let's take these leaves, and I'm going to stamp them 3 times. I've not used this ink pad for a while, apparently. Very juicy. In Sahara Sand. Then I'm going to take my Early Espresso. I'm going to stamp this leaf. I absolutely love this leaf. Over the top. So you're layering up. And then that leaf that we used before, I'm going to stamp in Crumb Cake. So, and that's going to go over the top again. So you can kind of create lots of lovely layers. And every time you stamp on top, you add another colour, because you're going to change the colour of the colour you've already stamped. And it's just something I really enjoy doing. So, do I need... So I'm going to take that Sahara Sand and a blending brush. And I'm going to rub the brush on my ink pad, dab it off, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more colour just behind that leaf, just so it's not really white. There we go. Very pretty. I do love blending brushes. I'm really enjoying these. I've sort of changed my technique a little bit, because I was kind of bouncing my brush into my ink pad, and I've started to swirl it and it picks up more ink and it works much better. That's probably me just being a div. So let's layer this card together. So again, I've got my seal. That is my glue of choice. I know a lot of demonstrators that use wet glue cannot get away with it. I just make a mess. And I make enough mess. Honestly, this desk. Actually, my entire room at the moment. I've had a tidy up, I've had a sort out. And it's still just a disaster. Anybody else get like that, where you it's just never tidy, it's just never clean? So if I pop a little bit of seal on there and pop that piece of vellum in, and it is only going to stick, oh, she says, because it's not going to stick at all. Try that again. There we go. There we go. And I like that kind of effect where you've got the vellum that's going to move a little bit. When it's stood up on the mantelpiece, it is going to kind of waft and give a little bit of extra. Then I'm going to take a couple of dimensionals and stick those on the back of my sentiment. I'm going to pop a couple on the back of this panel as well. So if I put this on first, I can then see exactly where I want my sentiment to go. One of the things Neve was best at, actually, was taking the backs off dimensionals. She could just come and do that in my office all day long. It would be very helpful. There we go. And then, because it's a little bit narrower than that panel, so if you kind of stuck it straight on, it would look a little bit strange. So I'm going to move it off, just sort of sticking off this edge a little bit. And cover over where I've put that seal. And nobody will ever know it's there. Except you, who saw me put it on. There we go. And then to finish this card off, I have a brand new packet of the Rustic Metallic Adhesive Backed Dots, which I just thought would go nicely with this colour combination. So again, my take a pick. These are lovely actually because they come in 2 sizes. So you've got the big ones and the small ones. Oh, thank you, Pat. That's very kind of you. Pat said that she liked my style of crafting. I don't know what my style of crafting is other than making a mess, to be honest. Just, yeah. Pat's actually seen me craft at events as well, and she knows how much mess I actually make. So, oh no, I've got that. I don't want 4, just want 3. There we go. So that is all of our cards for this evening. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you like anything that is in this catalogue, it is about to go, it is about to leave us. So head over to my online store. The link should be in the down bar below. If it's not, it will be very shortly. And if you're watching it on the replay, it will be there. And click on specials, and you can see everything that's kind of in that last chance sale. So do check that out. Also, if you missed my video on Monday, I gave you a bit of a tour of what I picked in my pre-order for the July to December mini catalogue and Sale-a-bration. If you want a copy of this catalogue and you don't have a demonstrator that you already work with, do drop me a message. Instagram is usually the best place to get me, or email. And my Instagram is StampinByHannah, just the same as you can find me on all social media. So that is everything for today, I think. Thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.